oldest fort in Rajasthan, Chittorgarh. Chittorgarh? Is that how? Chittorgarh. It's 2.5 kilometers long, 1.5 kilometers wide. Massive. How long are the walls?
Almost 10 kilometers.
10?
Yeah.
Gate out of 7.
And each and every gate has its own name. And actually this gate were used to stop the access up to the fort. They were well protected. Gates are locally called pole, which means
Gate. Capital of Mewar and the main center of Rajput power from the 7th century to the mid-16th century. When was the fort built?
it was started to built in 7th century AD.
Which number gate is this one?
This one is the
Fourth?
yeah.
4th gate.
And Chandragupta Maurya was the most famous ruler of the Mauryan dynasty.
5th gate coming.
It's called Jorlapur.
Right around the curve. Did they have elephant gates on every single one of them?
Yeah. The spikes.
The spikes, the big spikes. Nice gate.
It's known as Rampur.
Ram.
Lord Rama. And now it's almost at 25,000.
Still live here out of
Here.
100,000 used to live inside the fort. Can you imagine the massive size?
Yeah.
Map of this huge fort, the biggest in Rajasthan. And we are going to walk around and see the most important parts. As you can see here, we have tourists galore.
This is called Kumbha Palace. Yeah. It was built in 15th century and built by Maharana Kumbha. He was one of the most famous ruler of the Mewar dynasty.
Palace from the stable side. Unlike Bundi, there is no decoration. It's completely ruined. So we're just touring a shell, shall we say.
The member of the royal family from Mewar, they believe that they are descendant of sun god.
Oh.
So the main entrance always oriented towards the east direction from where the sun rises.
And that is definitely east.
Yeah.
Sun is right in my eyeballs.
The land of sacrifice. There were a lot of sacrifice here. The man who sacrificed their life to save the honor and independence, and the ladies, they sacrificed their life by throwing themselves into the fire. This terrified or horrible custom is known as Johar, Jauhar, and they used to do whenever there was the enemy seized the fort, and then there were no other way to escape. The ladies used to throw themselves into the fire with children, and the man, they wear the orange color turban, which is the color of detachment. It was a complete detachment for them, and they used to throw themselves to the enemies. So Chittorgarh saw this Saka thrice. First it was in 14th century, at the beginning of the 14th century. There used to be a very beautiful lady whose name was Padmini. There are a lot of legends or stories behind that. The king of Delhi, whose name was Alauddin Khilji, came here and besieged the fort for the period of 8 years.
8 years? Do they have wells in the fort?
We have 40 water bodies in the fort.
Within the fort?
Yeah, and which is enough for 4 years. Okay, so there were 100,000 people who used to live in the fort, and there were a lot of water sources, a lot of cisterns to collect the rain or the monsoon water,
yes,
which was enough for 4 years.
Amazing.
And
the upshot was that Padmini and 17,000 of her women threw themselves into the fire. For me, I can think of no more horrible way to die than immolating myself in a funeral pyre. Why do they burn themselves in a funeral pyre?
The main reason was that you don't find anything after immolating yourself in the fire.
Sure.
Not body, just ashes and bones. So you can't do anything with ashes and bones.
No.
Even after the long battle, the invader Alauddin, he never find anything.
That's right.
In 1535 exactly.
And who did that one?
When the Sultan of Gujarat came here and invaded. Third and last time was in 1565 when Akbar, the great Mughal, he attacked Chittorgarh Fort. And at that time also almost 13,000 ladies and children threw themselves into the fire.
UNESCO World Heritage Site, the entire fort. It was built and consecrated by Maharana Kumbha in 1448. Dedicated to Vishnu, it has 9 stories marked with openings, balconies at every face of each story, and the interior staircase winds through the central chamber. The entire tower is covered with architectural ornaments and inscribed images of gods and goddesses, seasons, weapons, musical instruments. A textbook of Hindu iconography. Amazing. I think it's fitting that our last day in India is at a site like this.
And in Hindi, lion we say sing. And that's why all the warriors, they add sing between their name and their last name. Okay?
Now I know why they're all sings.
Yeah.
Take them to carve all this in marble. 10 years?
Just. In 1448, completed in 1458. The ladies threw themselves on a funeral pyre. From the 8th century till 16th century, this was the cremation place for the royal family. There are 2 entrances. One is there and the second one is over there. So,
entrance to the cremation grounds. And where the people are coming out of, that's the other one. Well, this fort is absolutely unbelievable.
waterfalls from there, and it is known as Gomukh Kund. Gomukh, which means cow's head, because the source from where the water comes out, they give in the shape of cow's head. So it comes out from the mouth of the cow. It's sacred water, holy water, and still there's a source. You can see water comes out from there.
Oh yes. Yes, I can see the water coming out there. Is this the only big cistern like that?
Most 10 more like this. There were wells, step wells, and there were cisterns, small ponds, all inside this wall.
It's considered holy water, so people come here and throw offerings and bathe in the water. I'm going to take a bath. Beautiful entrance.
Look at dancing Ganesha.
Dancing Ganesha. He's in the dancing posture. The guardians. Lots of activity going on here. So, snacks. You can dress up in a sari or a different national costume of India. Padmini Palace is where Rana Ratan Singh showed a glimpse of his beautiful wife Padmini to the Mughals through a mirror, and then began the whole story about trying to possess her, and the long story short, Padmini and her 18,000 women then threw themselves onto the funeral pyre.
It's said that the names of fools written everywhere.
You're right.
To Alauddin Khilji, this palace was specially built for Padmini, right in the middle of the water. And you can see a mirror just back to you. Over there.
Oh, I see the mirror. Here I am.
And Padmini was standing on the steps. You can see the steps and the mirror.
Yes, I can see the steps.
Yeah. So Alauddin was here and she saw Padmini in this mirror who was standing there.
It started almost like Helen of Troy started a whole war. The ladies' palace only. How many wives did he have?
The king, he had 15 to 16 wives and many concubines also.
Do they know how many concubines he had? Nobody counted?
300.
300 or
more
so?
than 300.
Do they know how many children he had? You just spent your day inside palaces. And looked out at windows at what was going on. The stepwells inside the fort, nothing like the magnificent stepwells that we saw in Gujarat. And I encourage you to look back at some of those videos. They were beautifully decorated. This is just a plain stepwell where women had to walk down every single day to get the water, bathe, wash their clothes.
You are looking at the Kirti Stambha or the Glory Tower, which was built in 12th century by a Jain merchant dedicated to one of the Jain prophet Adinath. And just beside this beautiful tower, we see a Jain temple again, which is dedicated to the last prophet whose name was Mahavira.
Magnificent start.
Magnificent stuff.
I'm enjoying the pick of dark work and stuff. Fortunately, when you go to 20 places like this,
As I said before, the Jain religion and Buddhist religion are closely related.